3 aircraft. Under 9 seconds. Gone. You clicked for drones hitting a Russian logistics convoy. Stay, because what happened next only makes sense when you see the air denial that opened the road. We'll break down the 3-second window, the F-16 cover, and how Iris-T, AMRAAM, and Neptune created a kill zone over Balashika. Then you'll watch FPVs, UGVs, and EW peel back a layered defense built for another era. How do you breach a rear area without massed armor? With timing, bandwidth, and precision. Let's map the sequence that cracked the ring and choked the convoy. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You came for drones hitting trucks. The story starts above the convoy with a silent countdown that reset the fight. Tanks of fuel and stacks of ammo move in a line, tucked under a layered air shield they trust. Meanwhile, a dispersed set of eyes waits, recon drones at altitude, passive receivers listening for pings and sweeps, forward teams counting the beats between radar spins. Conventional wisdom says you don't push a convoy strike under active rotary and fixed-wing cover. But then the sky goes quiet. Not for long, just long enough. A gap opens when aircraft stack into overlapping cones, when their protection overlaps their own risk. That is the hinge. That is where a 3-second window makes a highway out of airspace. The shared picture comes from many small parts stitched together. Recon drones feed bearings and speed changes. Passive radar picks up emissions and reflections without sending a pulse. Forward observers confirm with simple lines, altitude, angle, nose hot or cold. The net doesn't guess. It waits for geometry, entries, exits, and the moment the stack compresses. At standoff range, F-16 cover holds position, lighting nothing, pressing nothing, serving as both threat and lure. On the ground, Iris-T sits armed, AMRAAM is cued. The fire plan is not a maybe. It's locked by timing gates and altitude bands, who shoots first, who holds, who finishes if the first punch glances off. Blue-on-blue risk shrinks when clocks and ladders do the deconflict, not chatter. Older harassment raids nibbled at edges, poked blind spots, and sprinted out. This is not that. This is a synchronized shot to drop the top layer in one pass, so all the noise and fear sit on the ground. It's a trap door under the runway, one step too far, and gravity does the rest. Timing beats armor. Timing beats speed. Timing turns coverage into a kill condition. When the umbrella folds, another map appears. Ground nodes once masked by air patrols light up, radar vans, relay masts, the command truck with the extra cables. You don't chase the whole convoy. You cut the posts that hold the roof, then every lane ahead becomes a firing lane. The trucks roll into a corridor you chose, not the one they planned. The intercept logic looks clean because it is pre-committed. Queues resolve in seconds because they were sorted hours before. F-16s mark the envelope, Iris-T and AMRAAM handle the meat of the shot. One system takes the near band, another reaches into the far band, both ride on the same clock. The crew doesn't argue over targets. The software and the plan already did. 3 aircraft neutralized in under 9 seconds reads like fortune. It isn't. It is stacked timers, crisp comms, and weapons already pointed at empty air, waiting for metal to enter the box. The kill chain is short. The talk is shorter. Switches click. Trails bloom. Then silence returns, not by chance, but by design. Now the convoy faces a new kind of threat. With the sky shut, it's not steel they fear, it's bandwidth. Electronic warfare rolls in to cut the phone lines. Loiterers start their slow circles and hold the lid on. Long-range fires, including Neptune, lock the exits and bend routes into funnels. The road ahead narrows to a grid you can predict. We move with it, off the clouds and into the wires, because the next strike lands where signals fail, optics blur, and every driver has to guess. The shield is down, so why does the convoy still fail to move, shoot, or call for help? Because the fight shifts from steel to signal. The second phase starts before the dust settles. Electronic warfare vehicles take up positions on the edges of the route. Drones flood the sightlines at low, medium, and high bands. Long-range missiles mark the exits and hold them shut. Layered defense should soak a hit and answer with fire. But comms begin to stutter. Optics wash out under noise and glare. Artillery cues either land late or never reach the guns. You see turrets turn on delay, not on contact. Gunners wait for a voice that does not break through. The timeline slips. Tempo dies. EW in plain terms. Cut the phone lines, scramble the radios, spoof the radar. The units are there, but blind and alone. A crew chief waves, but his order goes nowhere. A battery tries to paint the sky, but the return is a ghost. The map on the tablet freezes. The driver watches a cursor spin as the road fills with drones. Meanwhile, Neptune and other long-range fires do more than smash targets. They fence space. One strike denies a corridor. Another forces bunching as trucks hug what they think is cover. A third hit shapes movement into channels you can predict. Exits become traps. Detours shrink into alleys. The convoy feels motion, but every turn feeds the same grid. Drones provide the pressure that never lifts. FPVs make ultra-low runs to clip optics, antennas, and soft-skin logistics vehicles. You see a refueler halt with a clean punch to the pump housing. A command van loses its mast to a shaped charge that arrives at head height. Above them, loiterers hold top cover, orbiting and queuing targets, handing tracks to the next shooter. On the ground, UGVs move like cautious beetles, seeding mines where wheels will pass, then probing culverts and shoulders to flag safe lanes for infantry that will follow. Think of a triangle clamp. EW sits at the base, flattening comms and radar. Missiles hold the far point, closing depth and range. Drones push on the flanks, forcing drift toward the center. The shape squeezes the convoy into a fixed grid where every square is known and pre-aimed. Escape looks open until the truck crosses a line and wakes another layer. There is a counterpunch. Russian helicopters push north to reassert cover. Interceptors shift to widen the umbrella. One pilot reads the jamming and exits before the box closes. Another does not clear the envelope and is forced into a hard break that bleeds speed and options. The tempo holds. Air does not stay. The ring stays cracked. Every minute under this clamp breaks the defense into parts. Once command nodes and relays are jammed, each platoon fights with what it can see and what it thinks it hears. They stop being a formation and turn into a map of targets. A fuel truck burns alone. An ammo carrier blocks a lane and draws more fire. The lead vehicle reverses, but the rear cannot hear the call. This is the story of timing and bandwidth rewriting the ground fight. You didn't need more guns, you needed seconds. Seconds make lanes. Lanes make hits. The convoy fails not for lack of armor, but for lack of a shared clock and a clean line. With the ring cracked and the convoy choked, the last question is doctrine. Old layers expect volume, not synchronized gates. What do you change when timing and data reorder who shoots and when? Layered defense built for volume fire loses to synchronized timing, bandwidth control, and precision cues that compress minutes into seconds. The side that sees first now strikes first. That is why the convoy broke. You saw timing act like a fuse. EW cut the lines. Missiles fenced the space. Drones turned roads into lanes. That mix rewrote who could act, and when. If you want deeper breakdowns of the tactics and tech shaping this war, Hit the subscribe button and comment how you'd counter a triangle clamp, EW, missiles, or drones first. Comment your choice below. Next, we map a buried command post, robot charges, stairwells, a quiet countdown.